Welcome back everyone to the second segment of our chapter meeting. And I'm very pleased to say we have quite exciting speakers tonight, even though there's some last minute changes. We have one speaker withdraw, but we still have two good speakers ahead of us. The first speaker will be Toastmaster Adrian. He will be speaking from the advanced menu, speaking to inform Project 2. Resources for informing. And his speech title is, Are You Ready to Face It? So let us invite Toastmaster Adrian's evaluator, Toastmaster Patricia Lam, to speak on the project purpose, project objective. Over to you, Toastmaster Patricia.
Thank you, Alicia. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Analyze your audience regarding your chosen subject. Focus your presentation at the audience level of knowledge. Build a supporting case for each major point using information gathered through research. And finally, effectively use at least one visual aid to enhance the audience understanding. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and good luck.
Who's speaking?
Over to you, Adrian, Toastmaster Adrian.
Yes, of course. Just give me a minute till I set things up.
No worries.
Can't hear very well.
Can't. I agree.
Can you hear me okay?
Try again, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it jarring? Is it okay? Okay, all right. Let me quickly adjust the clock. Okay, where do I see the timer window? Do we have the timer clock window set up as well?
Just a minute. Really... Yes, the timer will be Toastmaster Willie.
Okay. Just 1 minute. I will just set
Take your time.
Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. Just a point, thumbs up to just show if you are able to see my screen. Are you able to see the screen? Perfect. All right. So good evening, Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guest. This topic is actually a sequel to my prequel, which I started 2 weeks ago on this particular Friday Toastmaster session, all about facial recognition. So this is more about building to what I had mentioned. Now, just to take everyone through what we had discussed. So the whole idea was that we looked at facial recognition as a technology overall, and we said that capturing your faces uh, to bring in things which were not explored earlier. So it is looking at, it is looking at just 1 minute. Looks my internet is unstable, so I'll try and
We will restart the timer for you, so no worries.
are you able to hear me okay? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Because suddenly it went, you are muted. So I was just worried what happened. Okay, so this is all about understanding facial technology as we had mentioned. Just a recap on a one slide of what I had mentioned in my last page was that facial technology is a technology, facial recognition is a technology that is here to stay. And a lot of hue and cry across the world on usage of this technology because it is capturing faces and it is comparing to the database. And what makes it threatening is that when we upload pictures, now these pictures could be uploaded via Facebook, Google, your family albums, probably the legal, security and private companies are having access to your photographs. And these photographs are now being converted into a single 8-digit or a 12-digit code, which becomes your digital identity. So anyone can map this 12 ID, and for like if you are a Singaporean, it is like your PIN number or it is like a NRIC number, which is there, and it's that unique code which is very unique to you. So it is infringing on your personal space. So the big question, and which is my topic for today, research topic today, is that are you willing to be face recognized, which is the main title of my topic today, saying that how willing and how open are you to allow your privacy to be available to everyone. And when I say available to anyone, meaning a lot of people are having access to this, and it is both the good hands in all faith as well as not so good hand. So I have a clip as to propose what I'm saying. I have a small audio visual clip to support my hope my technology allows me to play this. So let's see and enjoy what we are trying to say here.
We're used to being watched. The eyes are everywhere, silently recording our every move. Now, something is different. Facial recognition software can pick out persons of interest, even on a crowded street. Problem? Yes, according to this man, the claimant in the first case against police use of facial recognition, which starts today.
What had happened, I popped out from my office to go and get a sandwich at lunchtime, and I was walking down the main pedestrian shopping street in Cardiff, and there was a police van there. There was no signage, no police officers giving out information. So by the time you got close enough to see the words facial recognition technology on it, you'd already had your biometric data scanned and captured. And that just struck me as a sort of fundamental breach of my privacy as a law-abiding citizen.
Nobody at the 2017 Champions League final gave permission for their faces to be scanned, but South Wales Police did so all the same.
They've been pioneering this technology on behalf of the government, so they have government funding. They've used it on over 50 occasions. So it's a really important moment to stop and say, do we want this on our streets? And we say no.
No or yes. A decision is urgent because facial recognition is coming fast.
So this body-worn camera would be mounted, as they all are, on the police officer's uniform, and when they're
This company's put their facial recognition software in body-worn cameras. It picks me up, no problem, even at 200 meters. The reason my face is being recognized right now is because I've sent this company my photo. But in the real world, the photos will come from police and counter-terrorism. So the big question for civil liberties is not who makes the technology, it's who controls the database of photos.
It is a use of technology that police want to use for the right reasons. They want to help keep the public safe, they want to take bad guys off the street, and that shouldn't cause anyone any concern. That said,
Who watches the watchers? The oldest question of justice needs a new answer for eyes that now have brains. Roland Manthorpe, Sky News.
So as you can really see that a lot of data, including your face, is exposed to a lot of people. So people know your facial trends, and they can know what brands to propose. So that's what retailers are doing. The police are sensing the criminals. The bank, the airport and airline checking are using your face to have a seamless online checking. The bank is looking at your face and giving you access to system. So a lot of this facial technology is coming and increasing on our personal and private space. So that makes it, even more vulnerable in terms of data and an individual you are. A recent use case is that if you look at the Hong Kong protests that happened, people were masking themselves not to be identified by police, because people actually used facial recognition to really try and create a ruckus or damage to the property. So if you can see from the slide here on the left hand side, people are growing hair, people are tattooing their faces just to ensure that they are protected and their exact identity isn't revealed. And these are live cases which are not existent in the first world countries, but in countries like Asia Pac, where protesters happen and police are identifying those troublemakers. So as you can see, a lot of people are wearing hat, helmets, and even covering their masks with different kind of spectacles which glare out and don't reveal the real identity. So this is the new trend that has crept in. And the more important question that we have is that how private your life can be, and not expose yourself to the public interface that happens all across, and leave your identity exposed to a whole lot of things. So with that, I just end my topic in terms of how willing are you, or how willing are you to be helping compromise your personal space. And as I closed it in my last speech, it is all about right now being yourself well protected, well masked, to quarantine yourself against the virus. So facial recognition as a technology can wait, but it is all about quarantining yourself and being well masked so that you don't get infected by the virus. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Hiran, for the very interesting speech on facial recognition. I particularly am quite interested in facial recognition. That's why I've been growing this hair here.
And mine is the complete opposite. Mine is receding, so I just can't even grow.
No, now these days you can wear wigs and topis. It's quite trendy.
Yeah, but the problem is that it is scratchy, so I hate wearing wigs. It's so hot.
All right. Now, next up, we have another speaker, which is other than myself, Toastmaster Alicia. Right. Toastmaster Alicia will be speaking on the speech from Storytelling Manual, Project 2, Let's Get Personal. Her speech title is My First. And Toastmaster Alicia, which I didn't introduce myself as Toastmaster of the evening, she's basically a happy-go-lucky person who enjoys the journey more than the end. So let's invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Dennis Ham, to share with us the project objectives. Over to you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. The project objectives are to learn the elements of a good story, to create and tell an original story based upon a personal experience, and the time is 6 to 8 minutes. And for this project, the speaker is to create and tell a story based on a personal experience without using script or notes. The speaker was to use vivid expressions and dialogue to bring the story to life. It is suggested that you read the speech project before the presentation. And that is the objectives. Madam Toastmaster and Madam Speaker, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dennis Ham. Just give me a minute. Where is the timer? Mr. Willie, can I see the timer? Okay. Don't start yet, don't start yet. Fabulous Friday evening to Club President Willie, to fellow members and guests. Have you ever had a first in your life? I'm sure everybody has a first. For me, I had many firsts. In fact, today, I went out in the afternoon and had my first long distance cycling race, 21 kilometers today. And I started at 4:30 and it ended at 7 o'clock. So life is like cycling. There's many ups and there's many downs. While I was struggling at the beginning, I really struggled a lot because I have not cycled for 1 whole month because of the coronavirus outbreak. I finally had to cycle because today is the race deadline. And so there was one part of the race where it was really tough. And I almost wanted to give up. And I did stop for a while and I pushed the bike. That made me think of the first things, my first that did not turn out so good. I remember many years ago, I was learning driving. Driving is could be a simple skill that a lot of people pick up easily. Guys are very good at motor skills driving. But for me, I wasn't very confident. I was very good at all my exams. I aced all my exams, even to university. But when it came to driving, I just couldn't make it. I was so not confident that I decided to take those lessons from a driving school. It's not a private type. So at the driving school, they had different teachers that taught you. And you had to go through various modules before you finally get to go for the exam. So that fateful day, when I went for the exam, in fact, it was a very good day. I was given the route that was the simplest and easiest route, the Yio Chu Kang route. They call it Route 1. So I was thinking, oh, I'm very lucky to get this route. But then, when I stepped into the car, the tester was this old Chinese man. He did not speak much words. And he just said, start driving. Then I said, okay. I was so nervous, my heart was about to pop out. Actually, I was very good at all the driving modules. But because the tester was so fierce, I think I really got really scared. And I made the silliest mistake at the simplest part of the test, which was inside the circuit. And it wasn't even the parallel parking that was the most difficult. It was the entry, positioning your car, and coming out. That's all. But because I made one mistake, I hit the pole, that was 10 points. And then I tried to reverse, and I couldn't do corrective action. I panicked. And second time I hit, and I hit a third time. That's it. As you all know, once you hit 30 points, you failed the exam. And when I came out of the circuit, the tester said, girl, do you still want to drive outside? I said, okay. I was quite sad. And when I drove outside and came back, there was no mistakes. So the tester asked me, what happened? You drive pretty well, you know. I was nervous. So that was the first time I failed. And I didn't get back to test, went for another driving test again. I put it aside, and that was when things went down. But nevertheless, the moral of the story was never to give up and to take the test again. I will be probably retaking my driving test after I get my house. So now we move on to those firsts that were much better. I remember the two firsts that were very good that happened last year. Last year, the first that was good was joining the online Toastmasters Club. It was the first time I was giving a speech online. I've been Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master. I aced all the roles. But my club president gave me this role to be Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster of the evening for the inaugural charter chapter meeting. Whoa, at that time, I was seriously nervous. And because of my busy schedule, I didn't have time to really do a lot of preparation. I was banging on my previous skills in a physical club. But because the online setting was so different, I felt I made quite many mistakes. Although I started with a song, that was very impactful, but later on I forgot the protocols of a Toastmaster of the evening, like introducing the speaker. So in the end, I had my advisor telling me, you could be more professional by having more introduction of the speaker. So it was because of the new environment and the new platform that made me forget everything. But nevertheless, I've been continuing to volunteer for different positions and I've been better. So practice makes perfect. The next first that I remember very well last year was getting my new home. When I was young, I lived with my grandmother. Then I moved to live with my parents in Toa Payoh. Then I shifted and stayed with my sister till now, which is about 8 years. And finally, I've got my new home and keys to my new apartment. But before getting the new apartment, there were quite interesting things that we had. My father says, there's a letter for you. And the letter was final appointment. It says, if you can't make it, please get your attorney. So that was the day I signed on the dotted dot. And it's very exciting for me. And my biggest first, I would presume, from ever since I was young to now, this is the biggest first, because this is the first time I'll be living alone. And it's also the time where a new story begins. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, life is like a bicycle ride. There's many ups and downs. You may meet up with a lot of firsts that didn't end so well, or many firsts that ended very well, but that's just life. So just learn what you can learn from everything, and you will enjoy your many firsts. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening. All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Alicia, for sharing your many firsts. Now we will take a short 10-minute break so that the evaluators have time. We'll take a short 5-minute break, and so that the evaluators have time to sum up the evaluation. So without ado, please go ahead with your break and see you. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, for third and final segment of our chapter meeting today, which is the evaluation segment. Here we have two evaluators who will be evaluating on our two speakers. The first evaluator will be Toastmaster Patricia Lam. Toastmaster Patricia Lam is a DTM. She comes from Hongkong Park Toastmaster Club.
Hongkong Park.
Oh, sorry. Hongkong Park Toastmaster Club. My apologies.
No worries.
So without much ado, let me hand over to Toastmaster Patricia.
Hi everyone, and especially to Hiren. Thank you for such a wonderful speech on facial recognition. It was so relevant. I love that face. And it was very interesting to know about face recognition that is happening all over the world right now. You seem to know your audience. They know your subject. I asked Alicia while you were speaking, do you know what he's talking about? And Alicia said, yes, it's about facial recognition, and that's China is using video camera to capture people's face for security. So it seems that you are speaking on a topic where your audience understand, and your knowledge on the subject is also adequate. You talk about digital identity, its equivalence to our identity card, which gives me a very good perspective because I am not high tech. And so when you talk about my personal identity card, I felt like, okay, now I know what you are talking about, and I understood you. It was very unique, and you asked if we felt that our identity is being infringed into, our privacy are being infringed into. So I like that you asked a lot of questions, and you say, are you willing to have your face recognized? Are you in good hands, and are you in bad, not good hands? You have beautiful and very effective visual aids, and I also like that video that helps me understand your topic better. You use very good support materials to help in your presentation, and your visual aids is also very appropriate. And now, there are a few suggestions which I hope you would consider. You may wish to give us, you said that you spoke about this 2 weeks ago, right? And you may want to give me a brief understanding, very small, because then I missed out the first part. So that helps me make the connection, because otherwise I do not know what you were talking about 2 weeks ago. To give me an understanding of the subject and to connect myself as well. I do not know how much time I have right now. So I'm just trying to go very, very fast. You gave us the negative about face recognition, and what about the positive points? Are there any? What about the main point? What was the main point of the speech? You highlight the facial recognition. Is there any recommendation as to how we should react to it? I would like to know more about what I can do if I am not happy about having my face recognized. Does it help me? You would probably say that, well, there are some negative points, but these are some of the positive points that you may want to consider that it helps you. So there may be positive, negative. You may also want to explain, highlight in your beautiful PowerPoint that you say, this is the things that I'm talking about, because there is the face, there are the words, and you are talking. So I was a bit distracted because I was looking at the beautiful face and was trying to read what was in, and then I was trying to listen to you. So these are some of the highlights that you may want to consider. And I would say on the overall, I really find it very interesting. I find that you use very good points, you use very good visual aids, but do consider some of the suggestions that could probably help me understand you much better. Thank you so much for that very interesting topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over time.
Master Patricia for evaluating Toastmaster Hearing Speech. Thank you for the suggestions for improvement. I hope it was very good. Thank you. And now we'll move on to the next evaluator, which is Toastmaster Dennis Ham, who will be evaluating on Toastmaster Alicia's speech. First. Over to you, Toastmaster Dennis.
Hey, thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and also Madam Speaker. Your presentation was to give us a story, and you really did. You gave us actually 3 stories put together and tied them sequentially. You started off with your presentation with letting us know that you were you'd had a recent first in riding your bicycle for your, let's see, I forgot what it was. It was 13 kilometers, I believe. It was quite a ride, and it got us going into your stories. And then you moved on to from bicycle to learning how to, or taking a driving test. And I thought that was really great. You had quite a lot of information about that. You talked about having this mean old driving tester giving you the exam, and you were getting flustered and bounced around and hit several poles. And then you went, so we went from a high of starting with a bicycle, your ups and downs, and then you went to a down where you failed your driving test. And then you moved on. Well, actually, there you kind of left us hanging because you said that you were going to take the test after you bought your house. So hang on to that because I'm going to come back to that. But then you moved on to your Toastmasters experience and how you went from your live Toastmasters Club to online Toastmasters, how you used your experience and how different it is from being in a real live Toastmaster meeting to an online meeting. And you have to start with a chartering meeting, no less. So that was your second story. And then you moved on to buying your new home. And that's kind of where you ended up with is your home. What I would like to have seen though is to wrap it up in a nice bow and tie it back together, because when you talked about your driving test, you said that you failed and that you were going to take your test after you bought your home. Well, you just left us with you bought your home. The question is, have you taken your driving test again? So if you would wrap it up and bring it back around, and then we would see that you went high, low, and hopefully you will end up on a high in passing your driving test. So I think you had really good information to put this all together. I did also notice that you were looking off to the side, so I would assume that you were probably reading your presentation today. After listening to Aaron, I was trying to watch to see if you're going to look directly into the camera. But anyway, you had a lot of high ups and downs, and I said I would like to have seen you tie back together because you left us hanging when you said that you took the driving test, you failed, and I was going to do it after buying the home. Well, you just bought your home. Or you maybe end up, I'm going to go back and take my driving test now and wrap it up like with a bow like that. Otherwise, I really love your presentation. Thank you, Alicia. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dennis Ham, for the wonderful evaluation. I will take that and redo my speech again because it didn't turn out what I visualized while riding on the bike. So this is the challenge when you're doing Toastmaster of the evening plus a speaker. Real challenge. But I'm up for the challenge because it helps to improve and make me think more on my feet. Yeah. So we have come to the end of our meeting. And before we end off, we'd like to hand over to the president for his closing speech. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the night, the morning. Have you enjoyed how a speaker become a video hero? I guess everyone have enjoyed the session. Although tonight meeting is a very short one, but we have 30 people sign up. Earlier, it was only 4. But when I look at the registration, it went to 30. Well, it's a good start for the Singapore Online Club to be noticed by Toastmasters for around the world, while we provide workshops like this. We are here to help us train speakers, Toastmasters, where we don't have a physical venue. Venue is not a problem for us. We meet online. That's the objective of why Singapore Online Toastmasters Club is set up. And we are not a Singapore Toastmasters Club, but we are a International Toastmasters Club, where we join the ranks of other 25 clubs since November 20th last year. But before I close end the meeting, can I ask the guests, like Wally, what do you find about the meeting? Can you unmute yourself?
There are many different elements that is different from online and the actual physical room, because on the physical room there's only one direction that you have to face, and sometimes when you look at other people you turn left, turn right, but this is just one screen, so it's really different, a different experience.
Okay, thank you. How about Truly? How you find the workshop and how the chapter meeting works?
Very interesting. Need to learn more. Learning and learning.
Okay, thank you. I think we have some other guests. Thank you, Julie. Can I have the other guest, Liwi, who is on mute or?
Oh, okay.
How you find the meeting so far? Including the workshop.
I just joined the last part of the workshop, so so sorry about that. I cannot comment on that, but I joined the earlier, I think the day before or on Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, I follow from the beginning at the end. It's quite informative to me, and it's a new thing for me to learn Zoom because now we are exploring an alternative to have a chapter meeting at this outbreak. And for today's chapter meeting, it's an eye-opening for me because it's my first time to go to another club, and it's a online club, so it's quite interesting to me. It's a lot of things to gain. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I guess I don't have any other guests I would like to ask. Thank you for the 3 feedback that we received. We welcome you at our next meeting next Friday at 9 p.m., not 10 p.m. So Toastmasters teach us 4 things in life: thinking, listening, speaking, and doing. Which part of these 4 facts that I mentioned earlier are you weak in? Are you still thinking? You're not good in thinking? You're not good in listening, speaking, as well as doing. Where do these 4 parts play in Toastmasters? Thinking comes when you prepare a speech. What are the things to listen? What are the things we need to do? Listening, do we listen to people or we like to talk a lot? I remember I still like to talk a lot and try to interrupt people a lot, but I'm still learning to listen more. Speaking, or you have to your icebreaker to where you are. You already started your speaking journey. Are you a club officer of your club or a district officer? I'm not here to promote the nominees, but I'm here to make sure that if you are not a club officer or district officer, volunteer, and you will know that you will learn a lot of things. Even it may make you busy. And I remember the first time when I joined a Toastmasters Club meeting in 2003. Instead of joining the meeting, I hide in the lobby of the of the venue. That is YMCA. 3 days later, I joined another Toastmaster meeting in one of the library there. Now they go call library, they call Tara Toastmaster Club here, CC. I joined that as a member. And the same month, I joined 3 other Toastmaster Club. Clementi Toastmaster Club, Brother Heights Advance, and I can't recall which is the whole club. I do my first 10 speeches. You guess how long? 30 days. I never able to speak well. 1 year later, I redo my basic manual again. And I was so involved in the district at that time. Means I volunteer my time, I volunteer my thinking, effort. And out of personal reason, I left Toastmaster in 2006. I came back 2 years ago in 2018. My first instinct is I got to be a club officer. I got to get involved in anything. Last May, my physical club need someone to revive the club membership. And the membership revival is on the way. Along the way, as a Toastmaster, I offended a lot of Toastmasters along the way. People don't like me. People don't like my style of doing things. I just carry on to do because I have problem. I like to listen to everyone's opinion and think about it, and then stress about it. Can't sleep the whole night. After where I have 3 months ago, I tried to set up a Singapore online club. I also met up with a different set of problems. But I just do one thing. I just go for it. Even I receive so many criticism, feedback, I just go for it. These 3 months have been a very challenging for me and the whole ESCO and the club. We finally, I can tell you a secret now. Every day, my ESCO receive email for the club league at Toastmasters International. What does it say? It shows that someone have created a prospective email saying that they want to join our club and ask the ESCO to contact them. 2 days ago, I received a call for someone they want to set up a club in their company, worldwide company, but they don't know how to do what. So what they want to do is they want to join the Singapore Online. I was surprised. 3 persons, 1 for Dubai, 1 for Germany, and 1 for South Korea. So this is the effort. This is the food we sow and we reap it now. So I would like to thank every ESCO, including our advisor, Patricia, and Aaron for helping us along the way. We still got a long way to go. The online club need every Toastmaster for around the world to support us by doing your prepared speech, taking part in table topic, and give us your feedback or evaluation on the speaker. Because of you, we are here. And because in Toastmaster, we are everywhere. As long we are a member of Toastmasters International, we are a member of all the clubs in the world, only that we are not a paid member. So, fellow Toastmaster, do me a favor, click on the singaporeonline.easyspeak.org, do a speaking slot. And then let's help each other to communicate, to learn, to improve our communication as well as leadership skill. Leadership skill does not start even you are not a club officer. Leadership skill is about managing a meeting as a TME, as a timer, as an evaluator, as well as a speaker. All these roles come with a message. Communication and leadership. It's not about a chapter meeting, just listen to those speakers. And I know it's getting late for some of you, but before I declare the meeting and before we leave, can we do something? I will stop the recording, and normally